Let me see what I want to do. I want to do that. Okay. Mm, not too much light. What is this? Oh, that's the, okay. I know what that is. All right. Let me just say that for a minute. Yeah, let me wait to do that. All right. I need to here. Okay. All right. Welcome to Flourish and Tresses. Over here, I just do my hair. Um, so today in this live, I am taking down my mini braids. So I've had my mini braids in for a total of 1 month now. So it is time to take my mini braids down. When you are getting braid hairstyles, it is best for you to leave them in for 4 weeks, no longer than 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to take them out. So we are taking them out today. So I actually started a video for you guys. It will be posted probably next week sometimes, depending on when I get all of these mini twists out my hair. So I actually already started taking them out. I got the back taken out. This is what I got taken out so far. So I have a lot more to go. So on this live, I'm going to take out my mini twist and talk about this news story. I talked about this news story when around the time when it first happened back in, I believe it was in July. So there has been an update to the case. So I want to just talk about what the news story that I seen. So while I am removing my mini twists, I am going to be using products in my hair to help me to take them out. Whenever you are removing any type of braids in your hair, you should have some type of conditioner and or oil to take them out. That helps with preventing breakage and it helps with the slip. It helps you to better take out the braids, whatever braids, cornrows, whatever type of plaited hairstyle you have, it helps you to take them out better. So the products that I am using tonight to help me take out my mini twist, I have Camille Rose, Mid Condition Braid and Scalp Spray, Sea Moss and Aloe Vera. That's a spray right here. Hi, Ariana, how are you? Thank you for being here. You're so, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Especially right now, I have no makeup on, so thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. So that is this spray right here, and then I have um a cream conditioner. I have Shea Moisture, Manuka Honey, and Mafera Oil Intensive Hydration Leave-In Conditioner. That's this conditioner here. Thank you. And then I have in this bottle, I have my amla and rosemary oil in this bottle. So this is going to help me tremendously take out my mini twist. So I may be turned around most of the story or whatever. Let's see. Your hair is so light. Oh, thank you. Um, thank you. I'm in the process of taking it out right now, so thank you. All right, so I'm just gonna put some things on the screen. I know. Oh, thank you for liking the live. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I'm just gonna put some pictures on the screen. Um, so let's. Where are we? Okay. All right. So this is Penn North. This is Pennsylvania and North Avenue, and this is where the mass overdoses happen. So to do a recap of the story, back in July, I believe, um, there was mass overdoses reported um, at Pennsylvania Avenue. Let me check. See. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. There were mass overdoses. You're so nice too. Thank you. There were mass overdoses reported at Penn North. So when I originally seen on the news, I'm like, okay, I mean, in this area, it is like a open rug market, and I'm using rug because I can't use the actual word on YouTube, but it's like an open rug market. So when I seen it on the news, I'm like, okay, that's nothing new. But as I was continuing to look at the story, I'm like, okay, this is different. So they were saying allegedly, because I just looked it up, allegedly that the rugs wasn't normal, ordinary rugs or whatever. They said this was some type of new type of rug or whatever. They were calling it, I believe, New Jack City, and they were saying it was laced with air conditioning stuff that you put in like air conditioner. It was laced with Freon, allegedly. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like that's crazy. So anyway, I covered it. I talked about it. That was that. And I think I think it was like 20 something overdoses that day, but nobody unalived. But then the next week, then I believe some people, a couple people, I believe, unalived from this alleged um, new rug that was out. So the mayor did a whole thing. They wanted to find out who was responsible for these rugs, where did they come from, who made it, blah, 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 blah. So now it is now months later. We are in December. So probably approximately about 5 months later, they have think they found the people that are responsible for the rugs or whatever. So that's what I'm just going to read this news story, and I'm going to get to taking out my hair. So let me check the comments. You are so gorgeous. Oh, thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate you. All right. So let me. All right. So the title says Juvenile linked to Baltimore Mass overdoses at Penn North. Drug operation with Juvenile linked to Baltimore Mass overdoses and fentanyl distribution, indictment shows. A grand jury indictment obtained by WJZ investigates sheds new light on arrests following raids last month tied to mass overdoses at Penn North over the summer. Investigations allege an unnamed juvenile involved in the rug trafficking operation provided tainted rugs. On or about October 8th, 2025, known juvenile, and this is the juvenile, I guess the juvenile is speaking um in this paragraph or whatever. It says known juvenile says I supplied multiple unknown rug users with free rug testers. Later that day, multiple individuals in the area of Pennsylvania and North Avenue overdosed, according to an indictment. Okay, so this is the actual indictment. I'm trying to see where I'm going at here. Some of my braids have webbed together. All right, so okay, that's what we got. All right, the grand jury indictment names 5 adults. It reveals that the alleged traffickers moved several blocks away from Penn North after the initial overdose on July 10th. From the start, city leaders promised to get to the bottom of who was supplying the rugs. We're going to use every single thing we have in our power to find out who the people are and hold them responsible, Mayor Brandon Scott said on July 11th. According to the indictment, the investigation led them to Brent Street, a narrow one way block that court records reveal was ground zero for a drug trafficking operation tied to the overdose. The indictment reveals that on, on July 10th, the day of the first mass overdose, one of the mid level members of the organization was at Penn North in sales of controlled dangerous substances occurred following those sales. A mass overdose event occurred in the area. Investigators wrote the dealers then moved the operation to Brunt Street, a 10-minute walk from Penn North intersection where they operated for months. Authorities detailed multiple purchases of the, and I'm using code words. I'm trying to, hopefully, the code words that I'm using don't set nothing off. Um, but okay, multiple purchases of he, Ron, white girl, and fentanyl in the alley surrounding a Brunt Street stash house. Members carried bangers to protect themselves, proceeds, product in or other members, according to the indictment. It says the alleged traffickers would provide testers so buyers could sample the rugs. Members of the rug trafficking organization conducted counter surveillance, used lookouts, stash houses, and multiple vehicles, all in an attempt to prevent law enforcement from detecting their illegal activities, the indictment states. So this is the raid that happened in November raids. By mid-November, law enforcement had collected enough evidence to conduct early morning raids, including on North Curry Street at the home of Sean Oliver. In the indictment, authorities described him as another mid-level member of the organization. Come to the door with your hands up, police announced in a video WJZ obtained from a neighbor. This is the Baltimore Police Department. We have a search warrant for the location. Oliver is facing a maximum of 100 years behind bars and $180,000 in fines if convicted on 6 counts, including narcotics charges and hiring a minor to distribute controlled dangerous substances. The grand jury indictment was signed by Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates, although he has been tight-lipped on the investigation. At this moment in time, I don't have any comment on that. I think at the appropriate time, we'll go ahead and be able to talk about other issues, other cases, potential cases, Bates said on November 12th. Other arrest court records have been tied to the Penn North overdoses that happened in Park Heights. A woman close to one of those charged defended him at a recent bail review. These accusations that they are putting on him are false. He has nothing to do with anything they're saying. They're saying, she said. So what I gather from that, okay, I can talk be shy. Okay, think should I tell my crush I like him? Um, it depends. It depends. Um, so what I gather from that, that it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. When I first read the first title, they said a juvenile linked to the Baltimore Mass overdoses. I was like a juvenile, so it sounded like that they was gonna try to like the people that's above the juvenile. It sounded like they was gonna try to make this juvenile take the charges or whatever. But as I read the story, then I got the gist of what was going on. Mm, 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 mm. This story is very kind of really close to me. Um, because I have drug use in my family. Um, my dad was a drug addict, and that affected me greatly growing up. It affected me greatly. So on one hand of the matter, I understand people who feel like they have no way out. I understand people who feel like they don't have no way else to go or whatever but to do these activities or whatever. Um and I understand, like, especially living in this city, how you can get overtaken by all of this. I definitely understand that. So looking at it from a lens of when I was a teenager and I seen the use and I seen the rug dealers or whatever. As a teenager, I didn't think anything was wrong with it or whatever, and I didn't think that people should be on rugs. But I looked at it in a whole different light than what I look at it today. So when I was a teenager, the rug dealers and everything, they, wore nice clothes and had nice cars and lived a glamorous lifestyle or whatever. Um, and it looked like something cool to be a part of. It looked like being a rug dealer girlfriend was something cool to do. Um, but as I got older, I realized the part that rug rugs play in our community, and it is ripping our communities apart. It is ripping our communities apart. On the side of the rug dealer, like, you demolishing families. And I understand being having your back up against the wall, and I understand, especially if you grew up in them environments. I understand that, but it is ripping our families apart. It's ripping them all the way apart. Back to my story about my dad. And so, as a child, I I felt different than my other friends or whatever. I felt different because my dad wasn't there. And I would ask my mother questions about my dad, and my mother never put my dad in a negative outlook. She never came out and said, "Hey, listen, your dad's on drugs." Like, she never said that. She never said that. Um sh- when I would see my dad, it would be very far in between when I would see my dad. And when I would see him, he would look nice. He would look nice. He would have clean clothes on, like blazers and slacks and nice shirts or whatever. He would look nice. Um, but after I grew up, my mother told me what was actually going on. So what was actually going on when he did come around is that he would come around disheveled and looking crazy. And my mother would tell him before I got out of school, like, she can't see you like this. You need to get yourself together, take this towel, washcloth, get yourself together. I don't know if why did she have clothes, spare clothes in the closet for him to wear? She must have did. I don't know. But anyway, um, when I would come out of school and he would just happen to be there or whatever, and it was few and far in between, um, I took an attitude towards my dad like, what you doing here? Like, you ain't been here, so what you doing here? As I got older into my teen years, my dad not being there truly, 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 truly had a tremendous effect on me, my childhood. Him not being there had a tremendous effect. Um, because as a teenager, I was looking for that father figure that I did not have. And I remember I was, I believe I was like 15 or 16. Um, and I remember my mother called my dad because something about I was talking to a little boy or something, and I think she told him that I was doing his hair or something. And he came around and he was trying to tell me, like, what I shouldn't be doing and everything. And it was really weird because, like, you ain't been around. Like, I don't even know who you are. You ain't been around. So why should I listen to anything that you're saying? So then years go by. Now I'm probably about 14, 15 or whatever. And I think I was about 15. I probably was about 15. And I got in a relationship with a guy or whatever. Um and my mother got wind, or I told my mother that the guy was giving me money. So she called my dad. And my dad told me, like, you shouldn't be taking money from men and everything. And my dad gave me, I believe, like $10 or something. And at the time, the $10 that he gave me, um, it was kind of nothing to me at the time or whatever, because the guy that I was with, um, he was giving me about $20 a day. Now, looking at it now, like, oh, that was just. But back then, I thought I was hot stuff. I thought I was hot stuff. Like, he gonna give me this little $10 and I get $20 a day from, like, yeah. Um. So my dad didn't have any. He didn't have any. What's the word I'm looking for? No authority in my life because of his rug use. And like I said at the time, I wasn't aware that he was on rugs. I had no idea, honestly. I just thought that my dad was like a I thought he was an alcoholic. I honestly thought my dad was an alcoholic. I had no idea. I could not see that my dad was on rugs. Um so time went by or whatever. I got pregnant. I had my oldest son, who's now 25. Then I had another baby or whatever when I was 19. And I had another baby when I was 19. And my my son's father, his mom and his dad was on rugs, but I didn't see it. I For some reason I couldn't see it. I didn't see it. Now, maybe his dad, maybe or whatever, I could see it, but his mom being on, I couldn't see it. But in that moment, like I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. So my son is now, he's a baby. He's like 3, 4 months probably. And my son's dad, what I can say at the beginning of um at the beginning of us being parents, he was a great dad. He was a great dad. Um he would come and get our son whenever I needed him to get him. He loved his son through everything. Um so like it was a big change when I had my second baby from my first baby, because my first baby, the relationship that I had with his dad and his first of all, the relationship that I had with his dad was a lot different, and then his family was non-existent to me. Um, so when I had my second baby, my second son father, he loved his son through the moon. He was always there. He was always willing to come and get him. His grandmother always wanted him. She always called to ask about him. It was a big difference between my first son and my second son and the family that I had my second son by. So I appreciated that I had a village. I appreciated that it wasn't just me depending on my mom, and I had a village. I had an actual village, so I thought. So when my son father would come and get my son, he would take him over his mom house, whatever. And I never thought anything of it. I never thought anything of it. Like my son is going with his dad. He's going to see his grandma. He's going. I never thought anything of it. So by this time, my dad is, talking to my mom a little bit more, whatever. But I really don't want to have anything to do with my dad because I ain't have a connection with him. So I didn't want anything to do with him. So my dad is talking to my mom, and at some point, my son is, at my mom's house, and my dad is there. And my dad looks at my son, and he recognizes my son. And my dad asks my mom, like, who is this lady to him. And my mom tells him that's his grandmother. And my dad tells my mom that I need to stop letting my son go over her house because that is where they are getting high at. So my mom tells me, she tells me, this is what's going on. And I don't believe her because I don't see my son's grandmother in that way. She looks like a normal person to me. Like she's not. So in my head, I'm thinking my mom is jealous of the relationship that I have with his dad's family. So I continue to let my son go over to their house. Years later, years later, now my dad is my dad is in the hospital. And my mom tells me I need to go to the hospital and go see my dad. It's very important I go see my dad. He's been in the hospital several times. Several times. So like why was this time so important? What my mother told me to I went. I went to the hospital. Before I went to the hospital and had this conversation with my dad, I hated my dad. I hated him. I hated him. I couldn't understand, like, if you love your child so much, like how could you leave your child just out there in the wind? How could you not be there for your child? How could you let the world suck your child up and you not be there for your child? I could not understand. So when I seen my dad in the hospital, he looked the worst that I've ever seen him. I've never seen my dad look like that. He was extremely little. They're extremely little. Like his skin was extremely dry and itchy, flaking. And in that moment that I seen him in this state, like my hate, it was like it kind of melted away a little bit. So then we started having a conversation and we started talking. And the things that my dad said to me will stick with me for the rest of my life. My dad said that he sorry he wasn't there. He let things keep him from being there for me. And he said, be careful who you call your friends. Be careful who you call your friends. And that statement, that has stuck with me from that time he said it until now. Situations have came up in my life and I go back to that statement my dad said. So for from 21 until 34, I want to say, I smoked weed. But I made sure that I had held that statement that my dad said to me very closely, because he said so much in that one statement, but it was so much that was understood that he didn't even have to say. Like, be careful who you call your friends. So you could be smoking weed with somebody, and somebody could lace your blunt with something, and you don't even know they laced it with it, and you just smoking and smoking and smoking. Next thing you know, you're a full blown junkie out here. So I held that statement close to me, even when I was out here smoking my weed. I had a boyfriend at one time. I did a story time about this boyfriend. I need to do another story time real soon about some other things. But I had a boyfriend at one time or whatever. And I held that statement so close to me, where as though, like, when we would get in arguments, like, I get very, very angry and upset and yelling and screaming, all types of stuff or whatever. And the only thing that will calm me down at that time is a blunt. But I held that statement so close to my heart that if I was angry with him, and say I walked out the room or whatever, and I came back and he trying to give me a blunt, I would not smoke it, because I held that statement so close to me. What my dad told me. It could be the closest ones to you. The closest ones to you. I told this story because drug use is very, very serious. And people just don't understand. They don't understand how serious it is and how it is breaking up families and how deep the pain is going. It's very, very deep. So the original title that I seen, the Juvenile link, I see that that's not what was going on. And it just, it really, I don't know. When you see a little guy, whatever, and everything, and you know what it is to be out on these streets, you know what it is to have a felonies, you know what it is to not have no choice. When you see these young guys out here, these teenagers, these juveniles, like, why don't anybody ever have a heart and try to lead them in the right direction instead of giving them a pack of rugs to go sell? And it be the older men in the community, 35, 40, 45, 50. So they can go and mess up their lives like you messed up your life. And nobody understands the bigger picture of it all. The bigger picture of it all. That the ones who are controlling everything gets no time. And I find it quite crazy to me. Like, I'm not even going, because it goes very deep. I know it goes deep. I know it does. So I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Um, but the one I wanted to talk about is they said it was other indictments or whatever, and the lady came to court and she was defending one of the young men, I'm guessing, and she was saying that he didn't do that. It's so easy to get caught up into stuff that you don't have nothing to do with. And these young kids out here, they do not understand. They do not understand and they don't listen. They don't listen. You could not have anything to do with none of that. You could just be out there kicking it with your friends and you spotted with these friends that's doing things and they think that you're a part of it. So I honestly believe this lady, what she's saying. Like it, the boy probably don't have anything, or the person, I don't say whether it's a juvenile or what, but the person probably don't have anything to do with it. I don't know. Drug use has been a problem for a very long time, and I know I know it's not going anywhere, but I just think it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad, and it's hurting a lot of people. A lot of people. Stuff I see sometimes. And I live in the city, so I see it all the time. Sometimes I see stuff, and I just wonder, like, how did you get like this? Like, what happened? And drugs really take people. They tear them apart. They tear them apart. It's like they become an empty shell of what they used to be. If you look at pictures of what they used to be, you look at them like, I don't know. This is a very this is a very emotional topic for me because it's so close to me. So, so close. Then it's like we got to be careful as parents what we do and show in front of our children, because a lot of times they follow in our footsteps and we don't think nothing of it, especially when we young. I think young parents really, really, really don't think nothing of it because we so young and we just want to live our lives and we just want to have fun, not really taking in consideration of what this child is soaking up and actually seeing. And the cycles continue to repeat itself. It just repeats itself. I don't know. I'm done talking about my topic though. I'm just trying to get these mini twists out my hair. I suppose like I just roll out, but this was definitely an emotional topic for me. We just, I don't know, we just got to do better. We just got to do better. on top of everything else we gotta go through. Like we gotta at least try to do better. Mm, mm, okay. I know. Sitting here running my mouth. Thank you for being here though. If you like the live, thank you so much for liking the live. Thank you so much. Guess I'll go ahead and make it an hour. Time is it? 36. It's not too late. Still got some time to get a couple minutes of sleep. I'm always going live late. So hopefully I'll have these mini twists out my hair by next week. I'm hoping. Got some knots up here. I'm trying to take my time, work through it. I did not plan to tell that story. Oh my goodness. I could definitely, my hair definitely grew. Oh, webbing up right there. Okay. Right. If you here, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, I can get how many more? I think I got about, let's say, like six. One, two, four, five, six, seven. Oh no, that's more than six. More than six. I just seen, was there a video or a short of people getting what they call them? They like teeny tiny, tiny, tiny braids. Like I can't imagine taking them out. Lordy have mercy. Like, mm-mm. I would say like if you got some tiny, tiny braids like that, like no more than 2 weeks, you should take them out after like 2 weeks. Because if you leave them in any longer than 2 weeks, you probably gonna lose all your hair. Mm, 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 mm. And I got a knot. Oh, take my time. Yep. I am so glad I made the decision to stop putting synthetic hair in my hair. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad because it's just so much better with my own hair. Everything like putting the braids in, taking them out. Like I was getting so much lint and stuff at the top of my head when I was taking my braids out when I was using synthetic hair. And I thought that was like a normal thing. I didn't like, okay, that's just, but I have not seen like lint like that and build up like that. Neither time I didn't put, I think I've been doing this for like a year now because I had many braids first and then I did many twists recently. But I have not seen build up like that in my hair since I've been braiding my own hair. So, like, yeah. And I'm constantly putting products in my hair, and I have not got that type of build up. Then I just seen somewhere, synthetic hair got some type of like I think did they say formaldehyde? Like the product, the chemical that's in relaxers. And then like a lot of people that's natural, they like to put like braids in their hair, not knowing that they're putting this chemical that's tied to relaxers in their hair. So that is absolutely crazy. And then I knew like every time when I would take my hair out with synthetic hair, it felt like the ends of my hair was getting thinner and thinner, like every single time. And I'm like, this is not normal. Why does my hair keep getting thinner? And a lot of people, as soon as you say that, oh, it's the relaxers. You need to stop putting relaxers in your hair. But I'm glad I stopped though. It's a big difference in my hair since I stopped putting synthetic hair in my hair. I may just try to finish this roll out to at least get this row done. There's no buildup. Like, and if it is, I can't feel it. So, but the annoying part of mini twists and braiding your own hair is this webbing mess. Like, that's what's annoying. Mhm. Oh, okay. A whole build up. Oh, I didn't even show the pictures. No. Oh, let's see. Oh, my battery about to die. I didn't even show the pictures. Okay, so that is I think that, yeah, that was the mass overdose. That was the big scene in July. And that is another shot of Pennsylvania Avenue. Let's see. This is an angle of on one side of Brent Street. So this is where they moved their operation to once it got too hot. Mm. Oh, your face is, oh, my face shining. Yeah, I put coconut oil on my face. I love coconut oil. Ooh, oh, we passed the hour. Yeah, we passed the hour. Yep. I guess I could take this off of here now. Oh, see. Okay. There we go. How many more? Goddamn. I'm almost 4. Mm, I think I got a nice amount out. You really gotta take your time when removing braids out your hair. It's definitely time consuming. If you're trying to grow hair and retain length, not grow hair, because you can grow hair anyway. But if you're trying to retain length, you gotta take your time. If you're not trying to retain length, then yeah, just take them out any type of way. That's a tough one right here. Yeah, it's a tough one. Okay. That didn't work. Mm-mm. Whew. I always do the back first because the back is the hardest. The back is the hardest to do. I knew this was going to be a tough one. Is it three? I thought I was done. Run around. Okay, we just got two more to go. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, oh my goodness. These ones just directly in the middle of the back. So these are going to be hard. Oh my goodness. I hope y'all don't hear that. My stomach is growling for some reason. New growth is thick. Oh, last one, last one. Woo! Oh my goodness. I ain't even drink no water. Mm-mm. Okay. Mm-mm. Ooh. Oh my goodness, that was tough. Ooh, that new roof though. Oh my goodness. All right. Whew. All right. So I'm just gonna rubber band this off. I'm gonna try to keep it kind of stretched. It's definitely gonna hopefully it don't mat up too much, but I do believe it's gonna mat up a little bit. And the next time I will be live again Saturday. So my next topic is um a more lighter topic. It's about the raccoon who broke into the liquor store and got drunk and passed out by the toilet. So that will be a much lighter conversation. So that will be Saturday. All right. So far, that's what we got done. When I come back Saturday, hopefully we can get another section done. So that is it, you guys. If you have not liked the live yet, please make sure that you like the live. If you already like the live, thank you so much for liking the live. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for commenting. And I'll see you guys in the next one.